Hi, everyone. My name is Kathy McGhin, and tonight we are going to do a Savvy Mineral Look and Learn. So, this is why I'm coming to you completely all natural and I'm going to do my makeup with you tonight. And we're going to keep it to as close to 30 minutes as I possibly can. Miss Allison Morrison, which is a co-host with me tonight, is going to be checking the chat thread. So if you have any questions in the chat box, and possibly we'll try to keep an eye on the Savvy group to see if there's questions there as much as we possibly can. But don't worry, after the class, we'll answer as many questions as we possibly can. So I'm going to hop right to it because I'm going to show you an everyday look. I decided not just one that we run down to the grocery store with because I wanted to share some really great tips. You'll notice I have a mirror right here. So if you see me lean over, it's just because I'm looking into the mirror because it's very hard to put my makeup on in the Zoom camera right there. But this is a look that you can totally do every day and go into work with, and giving you a few little extra techniques to advance that from a day look to a night look. So we're going to hop right in. Now, I've already cleansed my face. I've already moisturized my face. You should always cleanse morning and night, and you should always go through your skincare routine prior to your makeup, because if you do not get all the dead, even at night, if we've cleansed the night before, even in the morning before we do our makeup, guys, we're shedding all night long. So you want to cleanse. We need to use our toner. Then we're going to moisturize really well. Now, what I'm putting on right now, I've already got my moisturizer, but I'm going to go ahead and put the mattifying primer on. A lot of people skip having a primer. I happen to like a primer. I love the hydrating. It's been out for a while, but that's okay. I've made the mattifying work. But here's another tip for you. If you don't have the mattifying and you have the renewal serum, you can use that as well. That's one of the things I love about not just the Savvy Mineral Makeup, but the Young Living products, is because there's so many ways, and I'm going to show you a little bit of versatility tonight. All right, so I've got that on there. I'm going to give that just a second to kind of settle in. That's one of the things that I would say to you, is that when we put our moisturizer and our primer on, a lot of times people go right to the makeup, and then they ask me questions like, why does it kind of sit on top of my skin? Usually your moisturizer may be a little heavy, or you applied a little too much and it needs to absorb into the skin. The heat source of your skin is going to kind of draw it in. So it needs to be a little tacky, but it does not need to be real greasy on top of the skin. All right, so we're going to hop right in because I want to keep this to 30 minutes, and I got a lot to tell you girls. Remember, if you want to if you're on Zoom, if you're not on Zoom, you can hop over to Zoom because Allison is checking the chat box. She's going to check as much as she can into any of the comments, but if you're on Zoom in the chat box, she's going to keep an eye on that so I can answer those questions for you live. Also, Allison and Amanda are with me tonight, and they both use the Savvy Mineral Makeup. And so I've told them to chime in with any of their tips and tricks too. All right, so I have so many different ways, but this is just a really quick look. And if I wasn't talking to you, I could literally do this in like 10 minutes or less. But this is just one that's real easy, and I'm going to kind of walk you through some extra little steps that I do. Now, the first one on this one, I'm going to do a liquid makeup. This one is Fresh Beige. We may get a lot of colors or questions on colors. I'm going to post in the Savvy cool and warm and what to look for. So don't worry, we've got you covered there. I actually have hazel eyes, and most hazel women are neutral. So I can wear warm, I can wear cool, and usually I need a little hint of both of those colors to get the perfect shade for me. All right, so this is Fresh Beige, and I'm just going to put a few dots here, not a whole lot, because what I have found is that a lot of people put too much on their skin, and then they want to know why it's not, why it just sits there, it's not going in. I'm using the foundation brush by Young Living. This is the one that goes with the liquid. It's very, very thick and condensed. And you want to do a tapping motion. You do not want to rub and drag your makeup. Now, I like a kind of a flawless look. So I'm going to show you techniques that's going to help you to get that. right, we're just going to kind of keep tapping this in. Buffing is your best friend when it comes to mineral makeup. Now, mineral makeup has natural color adjusters in it. So guys, here's the cool thing about it. Naturally, with mineral adjusters, your heat source from your face and the natural adjusters is going to almost melt into your skin. So you can't go wrong with your color. It's going to darken as it sits on your skin. So 1 or 2 layers if you're layering, and then go and brush your teeth and do all the things, and then look in the mirror to see what that looks like. Okay. Now, hopefully you can see, I tried to get the lighting real good in here because on Zoom it's a little harder, but already you can see just from that little bit of liquid, you can already start to see that the redness, the is kind of balanced out. So the tone of my face is balanced out. A little bit of those dark circles has now kind of toned down. All right, so that was fresh beige. I put just a pinch of natural beige in there because remember, I am a neutral, so I need a little bit of those colors, but not everybody has to do that. And if you have hazel eyes, then more than likely you are a cool, warm mix, or you can usually do one or the other and be okay with it. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is do my concealer. Now, here's one of the things that most people make a mistake on their concealer, okay? So I want you to think of it like this, where the sun hits you. Now, most of us have a little discoloration here, and we're always wanting to go there. And I see people put their concealer directly under that. 1, they usually put too much, and 2, they'll put it right under there, and you don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is just put a dab here, just a little bit, dab in the corners. I'm going to put just a dab right there. I have a little broken capillary. I have a cherry right there. So I'm going to put it right there. A little bit on my forehead. And then we're just going to go where the sun might tap. Very little, guys. Very little. All right. Now, the purpose of this is not to completely take it out. Remember, we're just taking this down enough to blend it, but you don't want to keep doing it until you smooth it out, okay? You don't want to take it away. But you're going to see as I'm tapping it in, and the reason I tap especially underneath that eye, this is our thin skin, so you don't want to drag, you don't want to pull down, because that over time causes us to have thinner skin, and it also will cause you to have more wrinkles there. All right. Tap it out, and then you'll see me go down into a V motion right here. And then what I'm doing is my excess, I am just bringing it through underneath that. That way, when you don't put so much under there, when someone complains and says, I can't get the concealer, it's too thick, or they'll say, after a couple hours, it just sits in the crease of my eyes. That's why. If you will try just a little dot here, dot there, and then tap it down into a V and then smooth it over under the eye, drag the little leftover on the brush. It will give you exactly what you want without putting too much in there, and then you won't have that crease throughout the day. Now, I don't know if you can really tell on Zoom, but you can start to see the lightness. Now, here's the cool thing about flawless makeup. You want contouring, lighting and contouring is going to be your best friend. We're not made to have just a matte coverage. And that's one thing that we were taught 20, 30 years ago, where you just put one solid color and then you try to, we don't want to do that anymore. We want this strip to be a little bit lighter. You want the sun to look like you've hit you. And then we're going to contour a little bit to give us that polished look. Okay. Kind of hard to do on Zoom, but I got my little mirror right here, so hopefully you can see, because I wanted to do a look and learn because we never get to do this anymore. And so it's fun to see, and the makeup is on sale. There's no better time, and I wanted y'all to see that this makeup is so easy. And at this price, you will not ever find a quality makeup like this for that price. All right, you see, I just kind of, and I'm doing a tapping, what's called a tapping motion. You don't want to swirl it. You don't want to drag it. You don't want to remove the excess. You just want to tap that into your skin. That's what's going to give you more of a look of flawlessness. All right, guys. So I always save my empty bottles. I have a lid here, and I'll put a little bit of my multitasker in that because I'm going to do something. When I tell you not that I don't want you to be afraid of this makeup. Now I have all colors. So normally in a palette, something like this, there's already a color that you can use for this. So I'm going to make my lip liner. Okay, I'm going to do a lip liner. And in this, it's just a little extra that I have, and it's probably got, I do believe you're blushing. It's probably got a little multitasker. It's probably got a little of the diamond dust, the matte veil, if you will, to lighten it just somewhat. And I'm going to take a little bit of that misting spray into an empty lid. I'm going to get my little thin brush, a little damp, not excessively, and I'm going to create a lip liner. Now, if you've been in my class, you've seen this and you know this. And so you're probably giggling like, okay, I know where she's going with this. Allison, if we have any classes, you can jump in and let me know, kiddo.
Yeah, somebody said, so with the concealer, you stick to a certain zone when tapping it out.
Say that again. It kind of froze for a minute, Allison. What now?
Somebody said, with the concealer, do you stick to a certain zone when spreading it out?
All right, yeah. So you noticed I put a little dot here in the corner of your eye because this is what's going to give you, it's basically giving you a facelift without the cost. So you want to put a dot or a little slash right here in the corner of your inner eye. You want to do it on the outer corner of your eye. And when that was just a little line right there. And when I tapped it out, you saw me go down into like a V motion. And then once I got that kind of blended in, I went underneath the eye with whatever was on my brush. So, because it doesn't take a lot, that area is so thin that if you oversaturate it, that's why people have such an issue. It doesn't do the work. Then they say it gets in their creases, and that will be the perfect amount to give you your lift, take care of those dark circles, and it will not settle in the crease of your eye. Did that answer it for them?
Yes, perfect.
All right. So I wanted to show you this. All right, you see how dark this is right now. Don't worry about that. We're going to set this and forget about it right now. I wanted to do this on purpose, but I want to show you, I want to make note, I want you to look specifically to see how kind of dark it is, and don't worry, it will not be like that in a few minutes. All right, so we went ahead and made our lip liner. I filled in my lips just a little bit. All right, the next thing that I'm going to do, we've done our liquid foundation. Didn't take very much, guys, and then we did our concealer. So now I'm going to move on to my eyeliner. Same thing, I'm going to take my eyeliner brush. Remember, I put a little misting spray into an empty lid. I want this damp. I don't want it wet. Now, we're going to do this a couple of ways. I'm going to show you a couple of little tips here. I put it on my brush right here. Very little bit goes a long way. Now, if you have blonde hair, I have black hair, so I'm going to use Jet Setter. But if you have brown hair, blonde hair, multitasker will be your best friend. And even if you have blonde hair, most girls' eyebrows are a little darker or much darker than their hair color. So you could go with the medium, go with the dark. And if you get the multitasker and it's a little too dark and you have the matte veil, just put a little bit in there. If you don't, you can even take a little like Cool 1 or Cool 2, just a pinch, and shake it in there, and it's going to diffuse it out, and it'll be the perfect shade. All right, so this makes more of a liquid, and you don't have to worry. It sets really well, and once it dries, it's not going anywhere. Now, I always like to do just a slight wing. So you'll see I come out there. And if you're not used to that, just tap it right out there. Now, if you're a dark-headed girl like me, another tip I want to give you, if you're unsure of the jet setter or making the liquid, you can take your mascara, rub just a little bit on your mascara, and you can also make your eyeliner gel. Now, I don't do anything, especially for the day. I just do the corners and halfway of my eye. That's what makes my eyes look a little bigger. And I'm going to just use that little excess and I'm going to brush into my brows, kind of do a little filler. Your eyebrows should come from the tip of your nose. If you put your brush on right there, that's where it should come out to. As we get older, they kind of thin out, guys. So this new eyebrow, the thin that's in trend right now, I highly suggest don't go overboard with that. Cut your eyebrows as short as you can. Take a gel and let it kind of seal it down. Don't do it because I promise you in about 10 years, you're going to be like, no, I should have never got on board because as we age, our eyebrows are not going to be as thicker. They don't grow in like it is. So there's a way to kind of make them look thinner, but don't over pluck them. Trust me, it doesn't. After a little bit, you're like, oh no. So I'm just going to fill that in just a little bit. All right. So if you notice that my lips are starting to diffuse out already because the heat is starting to work with that. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a contouring. Allison, any more questions at this time?
Nope, just a lot of people popping in.
Okay. So now I'm going to take dark 2. For me, it's dark 2. You can use dark 1. And I'm going to do some contouring. This is so important for a really good, flawless look because this really sets our cheekbones. It sets our jawline. It's going to give you a little bit of a facelift as well. But also, it can shed about 10 pounds off of your face. And it just makes your face and your makeup look amazing. So we're coming across. You want to do what I call the E's and the 3s. So you're just going to come across here under there and down your cheekbone. If you've taken any classes from me, you've heard me say this a lot. And when we get through, it just looks really good. And your makeup, you'll walk in and people will be like, your makeup just, or they don't even know it's your makeup. They just say, you look so good today. And you say, yes, I do. It's that savvy makeup. Get you some. Down the bridge of your nose and on the tip, just a little bit. Now, the thing is, don't worry about it being a little dark because we're buffing all of this in the very end, we're going to buff all of it in. Remember what I said, buffing is going to be your best friend. If you ever have a problem, if you look at it and you're like, something's not right, just keep buffing. Between the heat of your skin and you buffing it out, you're going to blend. It's going to marry it all together and you're going to be just fine. And when you first get started, if you're just nervous, then take a Saturday, you don't have anything to do and just keep practicing. Practicing with mineral makeup is perfection. Usually, I've used mineral makeup for over 15 years. I sold it in my stores for a very long time, taught it to people. And so when Savvy came out, almost 6 years ago, I was ecstatic and I've not looked back. It literally is the best mineral makeup I've ever used. Doesn't have any garbage in it. And so you will notice that your skin looks and feel better the more you wear it. It totally will. All right. So now what I'm going to do is, this is cool too for me. So I'm going to take my mineral powder. This is cool too. The first thing I'm going to do is set. I had a little bit of dark circles, so now I'm going to set that. So I'm going to go right up under there with a little bit and just let the heat take care of that. Okay. Now, once I do that, now I'm going to take my foundation powder brush by Young Living. Now, if you were not using the liquid foundation, now for some people they do this as well, but I usually don't. If I did not have liquid on and I was just going to run, say, to the post office or the grocery store, and I just wanted a little bit of my powder without the liquid, I would take my misting spray, dampen my brush, put that in there, and then buff that on, and then put my lip, cheeks, and out the door I go. But I've already set this with a liquid foundation, so I'm not going to mist my brush. I'm just going to get a little bit of that powder on there, and a little bit, guys, goes a long way. I don't know if you can see that. Does not take much, and I'm just going to go in here and start like little circular motion. Okay. Now, what you'll see is this is toned down. Everything's just buffing right out smoothly. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of blush on. This is I Do Believe You're Blushing. It's one of my favorite ones for daytime. And it's one that goes easily. This look really goes easy into nighttime. All you got to do when you come home, if you want to go tonight, do a little bit more dramatic to the eyes, do more dramatic to your lips, and add a little deep color to your cheeks, and out the door you can go. All right, so I'm going to set that in there. Now we're going to work on some eyes. Now, what I usually do is take, this is the palette, the eyeshadow palette. This is the Natural Quartz. And I also have the Royal Winter. So the Royal Winter, this little pinkish color in there, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to tap this. This is my Young Living eyeshadow brush. But we're only going to do from the mid over. Really quick. And like I said, if I was not talking, literally, guys, this takes like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. Okay, you can already start to see your eyes kind of giving a little bit of color there. Now, normally these palettes do come with a lighter shade. It's out. I've totally used it. So I had to make my own. Remember what I said? This stuff is so good. So I just created a lighter color, and it's got Best Kept Secret. It's got a little bit of residual, probably a little bit of the matte mineral veil in there. And right now I'm going to go to the inner corner and up to the eyebrow arch. This gives your eye a lift, and really your face a lift. Makes us not look tired. Buff that in. Hopefully you can start to see where that's coming in. I just went in with one of the Natural Quartz colors, that little dark brown, and I'm just going to reinforce right up into that corner and the crease. Coming into that little wing. A little bit of that plum color that's in there, just in your corner. Just in the corner. I'm just going to buff that in. And you can start to see your eye color. Now, if it was nighttime, I would tell you to take the blue and the Royal Winter, and you can use that in your little crease of corner, and it looks beautiful at night. All right, guys, so we're getting there for just a day look. Now I'm going to take my diamond dust. Now, this usually freaks people out. I have to admit, when 6 years ago, when they first come out with it, I thought, the first time I saw that glittery stuff, I said, I'll never use that. And I had been a makeup artist for a very long time and sold a lot of this in my stores. But y'all, this is my best friend. I love this stuff. Once I learned how to use it, it will be your best friend. So I would totally load up on this stuff. Now, what we're going to do is reinforce what we did with the highlight. So I'm going to go over the top of my cheekbone, down the bridge of my nose. Remember all those places I put a little highlighting color? And you notice I'm just dabbing this stuff right on with just a little thin brush. All right, leave it alone, let it sit for a minute. Remember, the heat of your skin is going to melt with it and work with it. And it just kind of smelts in your face, if you will. So when we go to do that final little buff out, it just makes your skin look flawless. All right, so one of the things we're about to do now is let's get our eye mascara on. So I had already curled these a little bit earlier. So now, show you a couple of things here. One of the mistakes everybody makes is they put too much mascara on and they're usually trying to do top and bottom. We want our eyelashes to create a bold statement, right? And to do that, you want to focus on the outer corner of your eyelash. You primarily don't want to do the bottom lash. And you want to rock it and focus on the tip. And I'm going to show you how much difference this looks just by doing that. Okay, I'm just hitting the corners. All right, we're going to put one on there and you're going to let that dry. Now, when I go to do the other side, I'm going to show you a little trick. So if you're used to thinking about for that too. So I let that dry for just a minute. All right, can y'all see that? Can you see the difference between that eye and that eye? And you really want to focus on the outer corner. You don't want to put a bunch of it here. You just want the outer part of your eye. You're going to come across, but this is really where you want to elevate it. And that's what's going to make your eyelashes look really, really long. Now on this side, I want to show you something different. So I'm going to put one of the mascara. So I'm going to rock it on there while it's wet. Okay. There's no way to do makeup without it just doing all these little quirky faces. So y'all, it's just out there in video world for everybody to see. That's all. All right, so now it's kind of wet. If you have the diamond dust, I want you to take a little bit of it while it's wet. We take our little slant brush. Remember the misting spray. I'm going to get it a little wet. You're going to dab it in for diamond dust, tap off, and you're going to go right in there while it's wet. Then what I'm going to do, I have done this for girls when I've done their wedding makeup. It works so good, girls. And we're going to take our mascara back. And I usually use the thickening and the lengthening. I just love both. So I usually put the thickening on first and then finish it with the length. All right. Can you see I don't know if you can tell on Zoom, but when you're looking in here, this side is much longer and elevated than this side because the mineral veil acts as like little fibers. And so when you put it on there, the mascara adheres to that and it creates an extension for you basically. This side. All right, there you go. your eyebrows upward. All right, so I don't know if you can tell with the lighting in here, but when I put the mineral, the diamond dust, it was real glittery. But you see, you can see that it's toned way down. That's because the heat has worked for that. So now I'm just going to take a larger brush and we're just going to buff that out. And literally, y'all, that's it. And if I wasn't talking to you, that's less than 10 minutes. It's got a great look to it. I don't know if you can see that or not. And now what I do, since remember the lip dark they were, they're not dark anymore. And so once that heat just kind of works with your face, I just put a little gloss on it. And literally, I'm good to go for the rest of the day. And it's so easy to transition that from nighttime to your daytime. And I promise you, it will give you, you can layer this makeup. You can make it a glam look. You can make it a very natural look. You can just do whatever you want to do with this makeup. And the important things is good for your skin, and it will give you the look that you want. And the longer you wear it, the better your skin is going to look and feel. How do we do it? Well, 8:31. I can't believe it. I was trying to talk so fast. All right, guys, we hope you learned some things. I'm going to post some things over into the Savvy group. It's really hard to do this on Zoom with a mirror, but I hope you can see a little bit of it. And if you have any questions about some of the techniques that I used tonight, then just pop them in the question in the Savvy or reach out to the person who invited you to this class. And I promise you, they're going to take good care of you. All right, talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.